Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Hari Om, Hari Om. Hari Om, Hari Om. One of the devotees, they sent an email asking us to dwell more and more on the word subtle and mysterious power. It is difficult to explain. Why? It is because of that power this communication is going on. No? That power because of which the words are now coming out. How can we explain? So it is purely a subjective subject which cannot be brought within the ambit of knowables. Only knowables can be explained. The only way left before us is to dive deep into it. For example, now the word is coming, where from the word comes? How does the word get expressed? Where is the source? When we make a sincere effort to go to the source of everything, that might pave the way for getting a glimpse. That is why in Kenopanishad, when the disciple was asked, the Guru had to say in clear-cut terms, that because of which you see now, but with the eyes you cannot see that. The power behind the eye. These are some of the clues they are giving. Because eyes we can always see. At least somebody's eyes we can see. Seeing is an experience, that also we know. But how do I see? I will not be able to explain. It is purely a realm where experience only stays, expression cannot come. That is why they say inexplicable, anirvachya. It cannot be brought within the ambit of these knowables or explanations. That is why Papa has been insisting us to take to inward journey, inward journey, inward journey. Inward journey means it is not a journey as such, but it is an effort to go to the source from where the power to see, the power to smell, the power to touch, the power to taste, the power to think. So it is a power. It's a mysterious and subtle. Just like electricity cannot be explained because it is a power. But it can be explained only through its creation, where it expresses itself in varied forms. In the fan, in the light, in the refrigerator, in so many things, in so many forms. But suppose we are asked to ask, what is that? Will we be able to explain? No. We can only say electric power. So similarly, when Papa started this book, writing this book probably, that was in 1923, after he came back from the itinerant program, he thought first we should give the clarity on the word Ram. before we introduce Ram, later in all the texts, in all the chapters. And then he brought it out beautifully, saying that it is a subtle and mysterious power. That is why he named it as mysterious, not only subtle. At the grosser level, it cannot be made known, but it's also mysterious. How can we explain about the meaning of mysterious? It is mysterious. That means Papa wanted us to identify or concentrate more and more on this inward journey right from the beginning. When the question was raised, we felt, oh, Papa is now asking us, have you applied your mind more and more on this word? Your spiritual journey, the success of your spiritual journey surely depends upon recognizing this reality, So he gave a word, subtle and mysterious, so that we will start now plumbing deep within. And the same thing is echoed in the first chapter, Great Void. That is also very difficult to explain. All other things can be explained, but Great Void can never be explained. Literal translation can be Mahashunya, something like that, It is difficult. Because now suppose there is a container. The container is useful only when to keep the contents, So remove the contents, what happens? Emptiness. But if we are again filling it the same thing, so can we say it is empty? Technically we can say emptying of the certain items. But immediately the air has gone in, The space is already there. So can we say that it is empty? This is how Papa makes us to go within. We may not be able to come out with a concrete explanation, but somewhere approximating to the character, nature, we will be able to move towards that. That is why these two words. One is called the Great Void, the other one is called the subtle and mysterious power. Think about it. So then we come to know that Great Void stands for emptying of all knowables. And the knowables start from the thought level, So when the entire thing has been, what happens, nobody will be able to explain. Thought is not there to explain that experience. The moment the thought explains, we were remembering Swami Chinmayanandji's lecture. We have shared with you. When he was trying to explain about this state, where there is an absence of thought, how can we explain? When Swamiji was struggling to make us understand, it is so subtle, Because through the thought, we are trying to understand something beyond the purview of thought. It is paradoxical. It's impossible. So finally he said, forget about the grammar. When the last thought was thoughted, then he stopped. Then we were able to catch the glimpse of it. There was total silence, the entire audience. Because thoughted means we know it's a past tense. After that, before the next thought comes, we have been given a glimpse of our original nature. So it's this side. So Great Void. Now we just because that email came yesterday, now we are putting two and two together. That in the first article he introduced Ram as the subtle and mysterious power. which cannot be explained further. It is purely on the experiential level only we will be able to grasp something of it. And again, in order that we don't lose the thread, he brought the word great void. Superficial reading is not what is recommended. From this we understand. Unless we deeply contemplate upon these, we will not be able to capture the theme 100%. We will be floating on the surface, that's all, which we have been doing all these years, unknowingly. Because every word puts a break, Think, think, think. Another suggestion came that why did he say about saltless diet? In our inward journey, again, if the mind has to be kept calm, if the mind has to be made receptive, it should be free from the agitating nature, And food plays an important role. Gandhiji used to say that control of the palate is the basis of all control of all our sense organs. So Gandhiji's Ekadasha Vratas, there are about 11 Vratas Gandhiji used to insist in Vardha and Sabarmati. There it is clearly mentioned, Aswad. Of the 11, this particular word is used as Aswad, that means control of the palate. Whatever is offered, when the tongue accepts, without murmur, without asking anything. And salt and sweet, both are something to which our tongue, right from our childhood, we have trained our tongue to develop an attraction. And if the salt is not there, we find it is insipid, it is tasteless. So when Papa was prompted to take up this, he knew that whatever faculties that are there in us, it gets drained through our sense organs. So the best way to control it is to control the palate. And how do we control the palate? Not merely the quantity. He also reduced the quantity from 2 times to 1 time, and then 1 time also with free from boiled potatoes. Yeah. The message is this, that he was very clear that if the sense organs are not properly controlled, it is very difficult to concentrate, especially something which is deeper within us. Even an outside object, if we have to concentrate more and more, there should be least disturbance, then only the perfection can come, excellence can come. Exclusiveness will be there. Papa must have been going through intensely all these. So naturally, the first thing he did was to control the palate. That is why he said, food first, 2 meals were reduced to 1 meal a day, and after some time this too was given up for plantains and boiled potatoes. Chillies and salt were totally eschewed. no taste but for Ram. Meditation of Ram continued apace. Now, this is very important for us. We would not have applied our mind seriously on this. But now we are applying our mind intensely on this. All the faculties, all the capabilities that God has stored in us, each one is unique, each one's capability is unique, each one's potentiality is unique, and the whole thing will come out only when it is harnessed properly. It is not, there is least distraction, not draining. So the five sense organs are the outlets through which we normally spend our entire energy. And of all the sense organs, palate, tongue is the one. If it can be controlled, everything can be controlled. So he gives us a subtle message. When you start in quest of God, we don't mean the text in letter and spirit. When we start in quest of God, these 2-3 things are to be made clear to us. One is, what is God? So he answers, subtle and mysterious power. And second thing he answers, great void. And then comes, to move toward this, some discipline is necessary, and the most important discipline is control of all our sense organs. We all take shelter under, the yuktahara viharasya, moderation in everything. But here it is not moderation. It is a complete, shutting off. So the first chapter, now we understand, it is to prepare us for the spiritual journey. All that is necessary as a preparatory measure, that is there in the first chapter. And there should be an instrumental cause, otherwise we will not be prompted. Because God has put us on various assignments. Family life, professional life, social life. So in order that we turn toward this, there should be an instrumental cause. There may be some exceptions, but by and large we find kicks and knocks of a severest type. So Papa was undergoing successive failures, one after another, one after another, one after another. He was not getting any answers. The puny intellect could not answer many of his tormenting questions. At home and also in the field of profession, he had reverses. Mounting liabilities. Every day the creditors were shouting. The project was not moving ahead. So he was passing through the severest type of sufferings. That is why he said, Ramdas struggled on in a world full of chaos, anxieties and pains. It was a period of terrible stress and restlessness, all of his own making. In this utterly helpless condition full of misery, where is relief, where is rest? That was the heart's cry of Ramdas. The cry was heard, and from the great void came the voice, despair not, trust me, thou shalt be free. So some instrumental cause. In Puja Mataji's case also, we know, at an early age, she became a widow, probably before even she was 20. A shock that she could not bear at all. So some instrumental cause to turn towards. It can be negative, it can be positive also. And so the instrumental cause, then some idea about the ideal to be scaled, and some preparatory measures, prerequisites. And then comes, with all that, is that enough? No. He says, of all the preparatory measures, the most important one, we are not belittling the importance of self-control, control of sense organs, but of all that, the most important thing is we should link ourselves with that ideal, Otherwise, after some time, the enthusiasm gets punctured. The tempo will not be there. Initially, with all enthusiasm, we may start. After some time, it gets punctured. So that is why he brings the initiation. Struggle and initiation. That is the title of the first chapter. Initiation means a commitment on our part to connect ourselves with the ideal. So here the nama his father gave. Previously also he was chanting Ram, Ram, Ram. He was clear about Ram and he was chanting Ram. Okay, there is a conscious effort on his part to connect himself with that. Might be at the intellectual level first, and later on it slowly gets into the experiential level. So then God arranges initiation. Because when every family member came to know of the sudden turn of events in Papa's life, they all got panicky. Something has gone wrong with him. So they sent word for a father, telling him that he is not leading a normal run of life. Something is basically wrong with him. And the father was also attached to him, so he rushed up from Udupi, who was then he was with some other son. So he came rushing and saw. And when he saw, he asked, what happened? He knew nothing was wrong with him. Something positive is like taking shape. So Papa answered this later on in one of his articles. God makes him to chant his name. The sense of agency is absent there. No? I am chanting the name. He did not say that. God makes him to chant his name. Then immediately father said, one sannyasi had come to us and said, initiated with a mantra that he will give you. And he went inside, sat there, and 3 times he repeated Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. And because the sannyasi had promised that you would get peace. So the preparatory measures, the first chapter now gives us more clarity on the preparatory measures. And along with that, not merely all these things, because our mind is exposed to so many things. Every now and then it may bring about some concepts, some fixed opinions, some preconceived notions. So what to do now? That is why he brings in Satsang. Satsang not merely in a program like this or to be in the midst of a Mahatma. Satsang also can be had through the great works of the masters. They are words of wisdom, They are compiled in different books, and with this bhavana, to get more and more clarity, to keep the tempo alive, along with preparatory measures, along with some clarity on the ideal to be scaled, along with the mantra that has been initiated, the commitment. We also, because beautifully has worded this word. Off and on he was prompted by Ram to read the teachings of Sri Krishna, the Bhagavad Gita, Buddha, the light of Asia, Jesus Christ, the New Testament, Mahatma Gandhi, Young India and Ethics of Religion, the young plant of bhakti in Ram, was thus nurtured in the electric atmosphere created by the influence of these great men on the mind of humble Ramdas. The other day we explained, electric atmosphere. When we searched the Chambers dictionary, then we came to know there is another meaning, thrilling. That means thrilling, you get the experience of thrilling only when you actually, imbibe or assimilate. You become one with the theme. Then what comes out of you is the thrilling. We say it's a thrilling moment, thrilling experience. That means all these books when he was reading, it was not like reading what we have understood as reading. Deeply contemplating upon the theme, so that he gets the thrilling experience. Again, we will have the recap. So first, the ideal, some idea about the ideal, then the preparatory measures. There should be an instrumental cause to trigger the whole movement, and then comes control of our sense organs, and then constantly, we forgot that, constantly hammering about the subservience to a higher power. That is why I said, even during the day, when cares and anxieties were besetting him due to monetary and other troubles, Ram was coming to his aid in unexpected ways. So whenever free from worldly duties, be the period ever so small, he would meditate on Ram and utter his name. Be the period ever so small. Practical clues for all of us. Subservience to Ram, that means if somebody comes and helps, he doesn't see them as an individual or as a situation or as, an object, but he sees the finger of God. Ram was coming to his aid in unexpected ways. Now we look back to our own, why we are not progressing. We have been hearing this, we have been associating with Papa's thoughts for the past 5 or 6 decades now. And where are we now? Because all these things we have not fulfilled unknowingly. Not that we did not want to fulfill, we did not know that. We have read many a times. But never he made us to go deep into each and every word. The very title, the struggle and initiation, that is the first chapter. Now we get some idea. So along with the control of sense organs, along with trying to get more and more clarity on the goal to be scaled, along with developing subservience to him at all periods, and to keep the link alive, chanting his name, and then initiation. Initiation means it's a fixed resolve, When he says fixed resolve, that is initiation. Previously we would have been chanting, but when we chant, here also when the initiation, Papa, when he initiates anybody here, suppose somebody wants to have the initiation done, we used to play Papa's words. But at the end of it, we used to share what Puja Swamiji used to share, ask us, that every day you must make a sankalpa that you will do so much of nama. Otherwise the tempo will get lost. Let it be minimum. You can increase it, but let the minimum be always be kept up. Just like we take the brush, just like we go to the bathroom, just like we take our bath, just like we change our dress, take our food, this also should become a part of me. How do I do that? So I will make a resolve. I will do 1 mala a day, 2 malas a day, 5 malas a day, minimum. At the time of initiation, this commitment is made so that slowly it becomes a part of my life. So initiation. And then to give a boost and to plug all dissipating tendencies, constantly keeping our mind fully with noble thoughts by masters or avatars who have explored the whole spiritual journey and placed before us their revelations. That will, it is not their finding, it is revelation, their experience. That is why it is so powerful. So we must be choosy also in selecting the media of satsang. Otherwise it might end in an intellectual exercise, But here Papa also wants it should give us the thrilling experience. Okay. And now finally, he seals everything in the preparatory with a beautiful closure. He says, the sense of possession and relationship was vanishing. While desires for the enjoyment of worldly things were fast falling off, the consideration of me and mine was also wearing out. Then only the preparatory measures, it become complete. At least at the intellectual level, that the craving for possession, the craving for indulgence, and also our deep attachment to all objects, relationship. Because that will occupy our mind space. So the me and mine has to be erased. I must make a solemn commitment, then only I will be able to progress. So he says, while desires for the enjoyment of worldly things were fast falling off, the consideration of me and mine was also wearing out. We should know that we are not forcing anything. It is the outcome of our efforts. Otherwise, the resistance will be there. If we think I want to get rid of this me and mine, it is simply not possible. But if it comes out as an outcome of my sadhana, then there won't be any resistance because it comes by itself. Just like when we do the churning, the butter gets formed there, It is an outcome. The butter that is scattered everywhere, the churning process it becomes instrumental in consolidating or drawing everything to a particular space, and then you find it, the entire thing is there. That is the outcome of the churning. So here also he says, while desires for the enjoyment of worldly things were fast falling off, consideration of me and mine was also wearing out. The sense of possession and relationship was vanishing. All thought, all mind, all heart, all soul was concentrated on Ram covering up and absorbing everything. Previously when we were reading, this also we were not very clear. How is it that Ram covers everything, Ram absorbs everything? But now when we have at least intellectually understood that Ram stands for the subtle and mysterious power, here now we can apply that and understand. Papa was able to see the play of the whole power in the form of the manifestation. Whether it was a human being or an object or whether a tree or birds or anything, he was able to feel the common denominator in everything. Beautiful word. All thought, all mind, all heart, all soul was concentrated on Ram covering up, absorbing everything. That is how the first chapter ends. Anybody would like to offer any thoughts?
Heart's cry.
Heartfelt cry. Appa. Exclusive. We go back to our own life experience. There have been instances when, knowingly or unknowingly, when we do this, this sort of prayer, it is heard. Spontaneously, you get intuitively, you get that prompting. That is why he used the word trust. We elaborately dealt with that, what is the difference between faith and trust. Trust is in a graduated state. Faith is there, but trust should be there, 100% reliance, Faith, it is there, but it need not necessarily be 100%. The simile used, you all remember, the person who was doing acrobatics, as a means of his livelihood on the corner on the junction of the roads in village areas, and he will have a tripod or something like that. There will be a choir, and he will walk with a pole. He will not fall. And later on, he asked his son to. Then he asked to the audience, "Do you think I will be able to walk with my son on my shoulder?" Everybody said, "Yes, you will do it, you will do it." Immediately he said, he asked his son to get down. "Can anybody offer their son to me? I will do this." Everybody kept mum. They have faith in him, but not trust in him. Because I am attached to the object. I am still worried about the security of my object. So that has not gone from my mind. So if I have got over that, I will definitely give, yes, do it. My attachment to the object is still there, so my sense of security, it is still, I am anxious about the security, so naturally I am not convinced whether somebody will be able to measure up to those. So that means the faith is there, but trust is not there. So similarly, we have faith in God, but we don't have trust in Him. That means acceptance. So in Papa's case, when that came, he intuitively felt that his prayer has been heard in the form of these words: "Despair not, trust me, thou shalt be free." Kindly think about it. It is good that it.
Swamiji, pranam.
Pranam.
I think that we know Ramna, we trust, we have faith in Papa. But whenever some situation changes or some difficulties come, we naturally go to the correction of the situation. We don't think this is a passing show or everything will pass on, like 1 or 2 days, vanishing forms, that word we were saying. We don't still feel that everything is going to pass off, so we should go behind what is the permanent thing. So we still go on trying to correct the situation and the things in our household things. But we are still not reached Papa's stage where we think that, okay, I don't want all this. I must have a thirst for the permanent thing. That level we have not reached, like myself.
Quite true.
That is why anything happens, we try to correct the thing, situation or anything. But that is a word, keyword, vanishing forms, everything is going to pass on. And nothing is permanent here. That we still have, it has not gone into, registered into our head.
Correct.
So, and how to follow it, how to search it. So when we read this and we hear everything, that moment we feel we are 100% convinced. But our search is not still in that direction, our mind.
It is true, whenever any situation comes up, any challenges are put up before us, we try to solve it with all the available know-hows. That is also a gift of God. But when we find whatever He has been provided to us, whatever we feel He has provided us is not sufficient enough to handle, then what do? Nothing wrong in trying to answer those challenging situations, because ultimately we should know He has also given us this, the capacity to endure, the capacity to handle everything as efficiently as possible. Everything is okay. But when it goes beyond certain level, we have tried our level best, but still we find no. So at that time, when we feel totally we have exhausted all the resources, then our reliance on Him becomes total, because we have no other choice. In Papa's case, we can infer that the question of acceptance came to him right from the beginning because of this approach. Because he has exhausted everything, from 1920 to 22, the struggle was severe. He had exhausted all whatever that is possible. And then finally he gave it up. Can't do anything more. So at that time, there is no gap in my mind. That is whole-souled, exclusive. Papa is giving us a clue that whenever you feel that whatever that is within you is insufficient, inadequate to handle the situation, then you come to me. I have given you all these things, but still it is not, you come to me. But we have not trained our mind to go to Him. Number one. Number two is, we have not still accepted that all those in handling the know-how is attributed to Him. We attribute it to ourselves. You carefully watch yourself. I have gained, I have known, I have mastered. This is what normally word we used. So it has been there with us, preventing us to accept the reality unknowingly. But when the kicks and knocks become so severe, then we suddenly realize it is not in my hands. I can no more do it. Then we slowly realize whatever we think we have, that is also provided by Him. So what is needed is to bring Him into the picture. In so many words, Papa says that, trust me, despair not, trust me, thou shalt be free. So whatever know-how, skill, expertise we have, we should know, if we are in a position to attribute it to Him. He gave me a life. He gave me a BMI, body, mind, intellect equipment. He provided the necessary ambience for me. He made me to absorb certain things. He made me to memorize. He made me to experiment. And that became a part of my life. All those things He has provided. Starting from my life force, If the life force is not there, I am not there. So to claim that I am so and so, I need the life force, and He is the life force. So like that, suppose we keep on contemplating deeper. Whatever expertise I have, that is also a gift of Him. And then when we have exhausted even what has been provided to us, then He said, I will take care. Trust me, I will take care.
Swamiji, we feel that life is incomplete. Whatever we get, anything is there, but still it is not a complete thing.
Correct.
Something is lacking. So We don't, even if we sit for meditation, even if I sit for meditation, for a long time I cannot sit in a position and think of Papa only uh, for a long time. So we feel that outside things we understand, absolutely. Even in dream or even in sleep, we know it is incomplete. And if anything that we may add from outside will not give us complete satisfaction.
That is that, and yes. That is why he has given us the clues. Control of sense organs, keep on repeatedly reminding ourselves of the ideal to be scaled, the relevance of God in our life, and then even when somebody comes and helps us, we attribute it immediately to him. Oh, he came forward, no, that friend, I had helped him, and he remembered and helped me. We all treat like that. We don't feel that God, who is seated within him, prompted him to come forward and help me. So Papa is giving us a clue. Whatever help that you feel you are getting it from outside, try to attribute it to him, which is the reality.
Yes,
now, and even the period ever so small, try to remember him. Even the period ever so small, our moving toward the bus stand or an auto rickshaw stand or getting into our vehicle, no? There is 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds. We have been asked to remember him. Identifying everything with him. That should become a part of our life. So these are all the preparatory measures exhaustively dealt with in chapter number 1.
Yes, Swami.
Very good that we are again going through it again and again. 1 minute, eh?
And that way, this is not happening in our case.
Here the doubt comes. In his case, his father came forward and initiated him. In our case, it is not. At the right time. It is true. But suppose we take it in a different way. Even how we are sitting here, how we are drawn to Papa. We try to go back, We would not have applied our mind deeply. Then we come to know the initiation has already taken place. Otherwise, none of us will be able to sit here and hear this. Even without our knowing, we have been initiated. Not in the way in which normally, traditionally, we understand initiation.
He has chosen us. He has chosen us. We have not.
So we have to keep on thinking about what all you have provided. You feel you have been initiated. You go back to your own life. How is it that you developed a taste for these subjects? You could have been involved in various other outer activities. But along with all your outer activities, God also somehow touched and kindled certain things in you by which you started associating with Mahatma's words of wisdom. That itself is an initiation. We need not think that initiation should be done in this way or that way. Papa used to be very clear, unlike others. If there is a need for initiation in this land, God will arrange for it. Either you will be taken to the Gurusthan or the Guru will come and search for you and initiate you. So it is not that we understand it in the traditional way. Traditional way is also okay, but in the non-traditional way also we have been initiated. There will be some instrumental cause. If you all go back to your own life, you will find that somewhere in the corner of your mind, 1% space will be there. There somehow the initiation has already taken place. Either because of your parents or because of your association or elders or some situation or some book you happen to read or somebody talking about some Mahatma, somebody talking about some inspiring incident. These are all, we can take it as a part of our initiation into this process. So let us try to understand that He has been with us. He has been guiding us. He has been leading us. Though our attractions were outside, just like, when our parents take us to the mall, we will be looking at so many things, in the showcase. Mother has gone there to buy certain particular thing, but we will not be interested. We will be looking here and there, and suddenly we will even forget that we are with our mother. We may, she will be busy. We may lose, and then she will immediately call, "Come on, where are you going?" Just think about it. Exactly, it is like that. God has been leading us right from the moment we came to this earth in this form. And He has been trying to show us so many things. He is leading us, but we were not interested. We were not known. We were not made aware. Then after some time, He calls. That is why we said some kicks and knocks, some words of inspiring, some wisdom, something, we happen to hear, we happen to know, we happen to observe. Then immediately, we start thinking about it. How it comes, we cannot say that. We were telling we were away in a nature cure hospital for the past 10 days. The persons who have accompanied us suddenly gave us one book that was about Mallur, a great Bhaktotama. No? We did not ask, they did not plan, we did not plan. And the ambience was so nice, there is zero disturbance, not merely reading. After reading one page, we can stop, go through it again and again and again. Who organized this? Suppose we attribute to that person who gave, then we are missing the real theme. But God wanted us to go through the life sketch of a Bhaktotama, where to him everything was Lord Krishna only, and his devotion was total. It was not as smooth in the ordinary language, the life was not at all smooth. It was full of challenges. He lived up to 90 years. More than 60 to 60, he learned Sanskrit and then he mastered this Saptaham. And Saptaham not in the intellectual level, but in the devotional level, And so he was enjoying it. None of the other things ever bothered him, made him to worry. Such a book, a priceless. How did we, then immediately suppose we attribute to him, you have been so gracious enough to make me to go through in a calm and serene atmosphere. Like that, please keep on reminding that we have already been initiated. We were not aware of it. Even in our world nowadays, we don't know about it. Everyone will have a puja room or in a shelf. The photos of some Mahatmas, some deities will be there. And we immediately after our bath in the morning, before we go to school, we go there and do pranams, take vibhuti or kumkum or chandan, apply and then go, That is initiation. Linking ourselves with the God thought. Thinking about the Guru, thinking about a Mahatma, thinking about an avatar, And then we suppose we sit back, and look what all he has provided after that. Initially, he gave us a taste for music, and later on to the lyrics of the music, And certain artists, how they were embodiments of what they are singing. And the various books, various Mahatmas, various Tirthasthan. Just imagine, he is leading us. So we don't have to think that we have not been officially initiated. We have been done, we were not aware, that's all. So the only thing is we should now keep on thinking about it, that he has been with us. He is with us, he has been with us. Perfect continuous. He has been with us. What is the proof? Life force is the first one. And all the situations he started providing. We were just sharing, to somebody this morning. Puja Swamiji, when he was passing through a period of terrible stress in his army life, one of his colleagues quoted Papa's quotation. He said, there is no disorder in the world. Everything is as it should be. Puja Swamiji was sharing, the moment I heard this, I felt only two people can say this, either a madman or a highly evolved soul. Because they are in the war front, they are seeing so many atrocities that is going on, and to say that there is no disorder in the world, it is something very difficult to accept. But when we know that it can be uttered only by a highly evolved soul, then we slowly start realizing it. How can he say so? Then we come to realize, so long as we are in this present level, we will see disorder in the world. Only when we raise ourselves to a higher level, we will be able to know that there is no disorder in the world. Even the so-called disorderliness is a part of the orderliness. When we see from the mountain, everything looks beautiful. We see from the aircraft, everything is beautiful. We don't find anything, But when we come down to the plane level, we find so many nauseating, irritating scenes. That is what Papa said. There is no disorder in the world. Everything is as it should be. If decay comes, if anything else comes. You remember when in the Ajmer, when he slept on the floor where he could feel the sense of, smell of urine, he did not feel bad. Accepting the reality, So when he says there is no disorder in the world, from this platform, we will not be able to accept it. So only from raising ourselves to a higher level, we will be able to accept it. So these are all some of the things which, the first chapter keeps on reminding us. Many a times we have been told about this, many a times we have applied our mind, but still probably we're not getting concretized in our mind. So probably Papa thought that this second revisit, what do we call for this reading again? That is instrumental in plumbing more and more. And we now realize that it can never be a full stop, it will always be a comma. Again, tomorrow, after 2 days, if we take up the first chapter again, he will make us to think about new dimensions and make us realize, that I did not know at all, like that.
Every day we are getting more and more clarity, Swamiji. Every day we are getting more and more clarity.
More and more clarity.
Swamiji, there are 12 major pointers in the first chapter for sadhaka.
Ram, the mysterious power, great void, because of purity he could hear his voice. Remembrance leads to meditation, which leads to self-denial. God gave initiation, gave satsang from books. God thought filled his mind. Like that everybody can make a note of this, like this. So that the mind will, because we are not exclusively sitting, we are not full-timers. Immediately after this satsang, our old me and mind comes back to us. So it is a tough job, to hold on to this. So better we make some small notes and going through it again and again and again and again. So let us all pray to him. He has facilitated so much. He keeps on facilitating. Let us make the best use of it with a heartfelt prayer that we should be able to absorb everything, whatever you place before us. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.